Hi everyone, my name is Tara, and today I'm going to show you how to change the color of an item in a label based on a particular condition. Here we go, let's get started.
In this short, I'm going to show you how to change the color of the status based on the status. The backend data source here is Dataverse, and the column that we're going to be referencing for the status is actually a choice column. So let's get into it. As I mentioned, we're working from a Dataverse table, and for this particular one, we want to highlight the choice column of status. So as I go through my columns, I can go over to the status column to find out indeed which option I need to select based on the color. So when we get into the nuts and bolts here, what we're looking at here is the column properties. And what you're going to want to take note of is the choices selection right here. So while it's going to be showing pending, approved, or rejected in the app, the actual value itself is a number. So what we're going to do now is go back to the app, and I'm going to show you how to use these values to create that specific color variation. Now back into the app, we can see that the status is popping up as black for every single type of status there is. And what we're going to do in order to change this is we're actually going to click on that specific label that houses it in the gallery. When we're in there, we want to make sure that we are set on the color property, and we are going to be using an if statement to create that color variation. So what we're going to type is if this item dot status in this case, and this is the one we want to work with. And again, back to what I had showed you earlier in the choice options, instead of using the text, we're going to be using the value. So we're going to say if this item equals, and I'm going to use my clipboard, and we'll start with the first one that we saw. So if it equals essentially pending, reference back, you'll be able to see over here that pending is the same number that I'm using as the value. We'll make this a form of blue. We'll go with blue violet. Then let's put a comma there because we're going to keep building. So what we've got here is our first if statement. This item's status is equal to the value of pending. Again, we took the value. We want to make it blue violet. Now we're going to add a comma, and then we're going to start nesting. To do so, I'm just going to hit enter and tab over, and I'm going to do another if statement. If this item dot status, there it is, and this one needs to equal the second value that we had pulled. So I'm going to use my clipboard again, and this is for the approved. So for approved, let's go with some form of green, and I think lime green is probably one of my favorites, so I'll go with lime green, and we're going to add a comma, and then we're going to say, okay, if it's neither of these, meaning there's only one other option, let's make the color Indian red. Another one of my favorites for rejected items. Add a parenthesis, and we're like, okay, it's still not. Let's add another one. And we did it. So very quickly, just to recap, we changed the status based on, we changed the color based on the status. And the formula to do so, let's open this up, is we nested conditional formats. So that's the quick short on this one. Hope this is helpful.